Well, greetings once again, my friends and my fellow Titaniacs. Welcome to another video. Today's April 8th, I believe. This is early April in New England. And actually, a couple of 100 miles to our south, where I am, is actually New York Harbor. That is where Titanic was supposed to dock to disembark her passengers. Sadly, in the early morning hours of April 15th, 1912, she struck an iceberg and ended up sinking to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, taking with her 1,500 lives. If you guys, well, just about everybody knows the name Titanic and associates it with a ship. Just about everybody knows the story, and those of you that are lovers of Titanic like I am really know the story. I showed you guys a commemorative coin from my dear brother Joe. It depicted Titanic on the front, and on the back it was showing the path Titanic took. Well, he gave me 2 coins, and what I want to do is I want to share another coin with you that he gave to me because he knows how much I love Titanic. So again, Joe, thank you so much. And I'm going to show you guys the coin, and I'm going to go over a couple more little details or nuggets, if you will, about the R.M.S. Titanic. So let's go to the desk and I'll show you guys the coin. Okay, so there's a little more light in here, and I'll be able to show you. Incidentally, the background, we got our little win-win Titanic model, and I ended up lighting it and putting lights by the smokestacks. Incidentally, guys, Titanic more than likely did not have lights lighting up her smokestacks. I know it's very popular to do it this way, and she looks absolutely gorgeous. But think about it. The light bulbs, they generated a lot of heat, and power was pretty precious. All the electricity was generated by the boilers. They had to put the electricity in the rooms. They had to light all the rooms. And think about the cold at the North Atlantic in April, how cold it would be. And I haven't been able to find any pictures of Titanic at night, or Olympic, actually, or Britannic. So there's no way to prove or disprove the lights for the smokestacks. I just do it because I think she looks absolutely gorgeous with the smokestacks lit up. But in all likelihood, this is not the way she looked at night. All right, let me show you guys the coin, the other coin that Joe gave me. This is from 2004. And this is actually a $5 coin. And it's not from Britain this time, because I have shown you currency before. I think it was a penny that I shown you from Britain a while back, and I think I showed you a quarter, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is a $5 piece, and it's from Liberia, and this is commemorating the R.M.S. Titanic, and you can see a beautiful photograph, well, a beautiful depiction of the Titanic. Unfortunately, she's going down by the nose. This is the stern section, and you can see the survivors rowing away in the lifeboats. On the back of the coin, it says Republic of Liberia. You can see the seal, and this is from 2004. Now I'm going to try to put the light on. I don't know if this is going to make it better or worse. But I'll put up a lot of photographs because I'm having a hard time reading what this says in the little ribbon that's in there. But this is a $5 coin from Liberia. It says 2004, and I guess it was $15. So you might notice we have a little, put the light back out, we've got beautiful Titanic, the ship, magnificent. There's 2 editions in that book set. I've shown you guys a review on that the video on the books, and it's absolutely fantastic. This is actually my favorite when it comes to Titanic books. I mean, you guys know my channel. You know Titanic and Illustrated History, how much I love that ship. I love Dr. Ballard. That ship is a lot of nostalgia. That book is a lot of nostalgia as well, why I love it so much. But this, if you guys can afford this, I know it's really expensive. Or if you're curious about it, check it out from your library. The Ship Magnificent. It's in 2 volumes. And I wanted to go over a little bit of information for you. We're actually going to go through volume 1. So this is volume 1, and this is Titanic, the Ship Magnificent. This is the design and the construction. Bruce Beveridge, Scott Andrews, Steve Hall, Daniel Clistorner, and Art Bauschweiger. And you can see beautiful picture of her. I think that's during her fitting out. The crane, I think, is putting her boilers in. But this is an absolutely amazing ship. So I put a little bookmark on what I want to talk to you guys about today. I want to talk to you guys about the double hull, the bilge keel, not the bilge keel, the keel and the double hull. You guys may have heard that before. And you may be wondering what that was and why didn't it save Titanic. Well, what I want to talk to you about today is we're going to talk about the double hull. And we're going to take a few notes out of the book Titanic from volume 1. And I got it bookmarked, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the keel, the floors of the ship, and the double bottom. So the keel, Titanic's keel was laid on March 31st of 1909 in slip number 3 of Harland and Wolff's Queen Island shipyards at Belfast. Titanic's keel was of the flat plate design, formed by a single thickness of plating, and that was 10/20 inch thick. Reducing 24/20 in toward the ends. The keel plate was 52 inches wide, and its broadest point, at its broadest point, and was strengthened below by a flat slab bar 19.5 inches wide by 3 inches thick. The purpose of this flat slab bar, called a ribbing strip, was to protect the flat plate keel from being damaged if the vessel would run aground. It also protected the keel plate during dry docking. So what they're actually talking about, let me show you guys, being flat. You see how the ship doesn't have like a U shape to it. She's got that flat kind of shape where the bottom of the hull is flat. So when it comes to the double hull, you can see some amazing pictures in here. Manholes. A mosaic assembled from the motion picture footage showing Olympics tank top from the top of the gantry. Holes in the plating are manholes and a drain pot cutouts. So that's not Titanic, that's actually Olympic. So they got some amazing photographs in here that I want to share with you. This is the keel and vertical keel plate. The image taken from February 18th of 1909 is looking aft along Olympic's keel and vertical keel plate. Let's see, this one is vertical keel plate and floors looking forward along Olympic's vertical keel plate on the same date as the previous page, with hydraulic riveting machines being used to attach inboard floor plates. This is the laying of the keel plate. The aftermost part of the 3-inch by 19.5-inch keel bar located at the transition point where the keel kicks up and connects to the stern frame. So this is pretty amazing. So what I want to talk to you guys about now is actually the double bottom, because you may or may not heard the term double bottom when people refer to Titanic. And you may wonder why it didn't save the ship if there was a double bottom. So we're going to read, and I'm going to explain to you guys the double bottom in Titanic's hull. The term cellular was derived from the fact that the double bottom space was divided into rectangular cells by the floors and longitudinals. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Longitudinals. These members acted as deep web frames that resisted and distributed the upward push of water on the ship's bottom. Titanic's cellular double bottom, inclusive of the wing tanks, extended out to the ship's sides and the floor of every frame. Because the height of the double bottom corresponded with the vertical keel, it was also 63 inches deep at the waterline, increasing to 75 inches in a reciprocating engine room, taking up the space between the keel and the tank top. The double bottom was divided transversely into 4 longitudinal sections by fitting a longitudinal margin plate approximately 30 feet outboard of either side of the watertight vertical keel amidships, and running approximately parallel to the molded form of the hull at the level of the tank top. The 2 sections immediately adjacent to the keel ran nearly a full length of the hull and was sealed off at the forward and aft ends by watertight doors at frames 134F and 125A respectively. The 2 longitudinal sections outside the margin plates occupied a space running from frames 78F to 72A. These 4 longitudinal sections were further subdivided by watertight transverse floors into the individual tanks. The inner section contained 15 tanks arranged symmetrically about the vertical keel, with all but the 2 end tanks, numbers 1 and 15, subdivided by the vertical keel into port and starboard tanks. The 2 outer sections were subdivided into 8 wing tanks per side, occupying the space between the margin plates and the intersection of the inner bottom plating with the shell plating. The subdivision of the bottom, and it continues on, into separate tanks added to the stability of the ship. It would prevent the shifting of large volumes of water that might otherwise occur in lesser numbers of larger tanks, extending the full length of the breadth of the hull. The total water ballast capacity, including fresh water and boiler feed water, was 5,754 tons, of which 190 tons were in the fore-peak tank and 150 tons in the aft-peak tank. There were 4 intercostal grinders amidship and each side between the vertical keel and the margin plate, the margin plate being considered a 5th girder. The 6 intercostal girder per side fitted between the margin plate and the turn of the bilge throughout the length of the wing tanks. The thickness of these girders was generally the same thickness employed by transverse floor plates along their respective lengths. Additional intercostal gliders were added under the machinery where needed for strength. So when you think about the double bottom, and that's basically what it is, the bottom of the hull, the double bottom, the double hull. So that would be on the bottom, and it would be separate of where the ballast tanks would be. And it would help distribute the weight. It would help protect the bottom of the ship. Like when it goes into dry dock, for instance, because there's a lot of weight. Remember, there's 46,000 tons just kind of resting on the blocks. So the double hull they're talking about is at the bottom of the ship. And I want to show you some amazing pictures in here. Let's take a look at this one. This is the tank top and the wing floors looking aft. A view of the partially plated tank top and wing tank floors on Olympic. This is from July 2nd of 1909. Titanic is in the background. Notice the large hydraulic riveting machine suspended from overhead. And this one, a view from the gantry looking forward, the overhead of Olympic under construction. You can see the vertical keel. The top of Olympic looking aft. Olympic's tank top is in the foreground. Work proceeds on Titanic and the adjacent slip. So, to recap, the term double bottom and inner bottom are not synonymous or interchangeable because each applies to a different part of the ship's structure. The double bottom is a series of compartments formed between the inner and outer bottoms. The inner bottom was merely plating forming the top of these compartments, as these compartments were used to hold water for ballast, boiler feed makeup, and other purposes. The inner bottom was known as the tank top. This effectively formed the lower deck of the ship. So that is a quick little explanation of the bottom of the double hull that I just wanted to kind of explain to you guys, because, you know, what I thought was, you think double hull and you think the whole thing has an outer and an inner shell with a gap, right? That, well, at least that's what I always thought. But then you got to take into account that they have the water ballast, the ballast tanks, and like I had just read to you guys, the bottom of the ship, the double hull, is actually the bottom to help protect the bottom of the ship against damage, whether it's against hitting rocks at the bottom, going aground, or going into dry dock. But I just wanted to read that to you guys, because I was always curious about that. So I always like giving you guys little tidbits of Titanic, especially when it's from this amazing book. But again, this is the coin of the R.M.S. Titanic. This is a $5 coin from Liberia. And Joe, if you ever watch this video, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to talking to you soon. For all you guys watching my videos and my channel, thank you so much. Fellow Titanic lovers, I actually made a playlist of everything that's related to that lovely lady right there, the R.M.S. Titanic. So my friends, until my next Titanic video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.